Hi, this is CareyNMe with CareyNMe Lifestylez. We've been away for a little while, but we're back and about to show you lots of different things such as hair, clothing, makeup. Once again, I wouldn't call myself a professional. I'm just a Christian woman, Christian wife, Christian mother, trying to promote godly living on a budget. What we're showing you now is my daughter Macia, and I guess you can call these either skinny braids or I think some people call them goddess braids. This is what I'm doing to her for now. Most of you have children like me. You probably have children that don't like to get their hair cut. Well, my two daughters, Macy and Monet, I always put something long term in their hair when they're in school, something that they can keep for a month or more before I have to redo it. So this is what I've started on Macia, and of course I'll end up at the end doing her whole head. The parts are in individual squares, which I've done with a comb, and it's kind of up to you about what moisturizer you use. Macy tends to have a very dry scalp, and so I tend to use Sulfur 8 as I'm braiding, and I try to stay away from gel or edge control or anything like that because those things tend to clog Macia's hair up. On my other daughter, I have, however, used edge control before and gotten a good result. But Sulfur 8 is good grease, being that it's an anti-dandruff hair and scalp conditioner and that it's medicated, and it keeps her scalp from flaking with dandruff. So anyway, to do these goddess braids, you have to know how to plait regularly first. I can create a video later showing how to do that. Basically, the hair that I'm using for this is called Marley hair. It's hair that you usually get in a package, usually used on twisties, two-strand twists or whatever. Because it has a look more like a natural African American hair. The synthetic hair tends to be smoother, and we'll show you a pack of Marley hair later and where you can purchase it at, and we'll put it in the comments, links below. Anyway, you want to take this. A lot of people when they do a braid, they do where you have 3 strands because they feel that it makes the braid stay in tighter or it makes the braid last longer. But that depends upon how tight you braid and how well you're able to hold a braid in a head. On this style, I don't use that method. I just here's my piece of Marley hair. It's about this long. I grab the middle of that hair and make sure both sides are even. After I make sure both sides are even, I place the hair on top of Macy's real hair. I yank Macy's real hair up, and I grab the 2 strands of Marley and yank them down. And as you can see, it already looks tight as you're doing it. As I'm doing that, I'm gonna cross Macy's real hair to the left and pull my 1 strand of Marley over. And then I'm going to cross. Again, when I'm crossing the second time, I place my index finger on and I hold. This is how I keep the hair close to the scalp. Like I said, I'm not a professional, so I started doing my daughter's hair a long time ago when I lost one of my jobs and I couldn't really afford for people to do their hair, so I learned. I practiced and I learned. I had a cousin that did hair very well, and I learned some stuff from her, and I learned from videos like this. And as you can see, I'm braiding. Can you hear a little bit of this? I'm braiding, and as I'm braiding, I'm keeping my hands straight And as I'm keeping my hands straight, I'm making sure her hair gets blended into the braid. When I'm out of Macy's hair totally, I take my last little piece of hair that she has that is hers, and I begin to twist it in with the Marley hair, because Macia doesn't like to sit for braids all the way down to the end. So doing it this way, she gets her hair done faster and gets to get up sooner. And sometimes your hair is going to get tangled up. Doesn't matter, you just keep untangling and keep twisting. If you pull up, like you pull in when you're tying shoes, it'll tighten the twist as well. I'm twisting to the left, but I have seen some people twist to the right, and it makes their twist stay better. It's all a preference. It's all in what you prefer. This hair can get really tangled in the end. It's pretty long though, so you don't have to worry about if you end up getting like knots. You just keep twisting, and you worry about straightening out the hair later when you get towards the end, which is what I'm doing now. You might have to split it again because it gets tangled very easily. Doesn't have it with all the pieces, but some pieces are worse than others. And you kind of just keep twisting until you run out of hair. And even when I run out of hair, I still twist all the way to the bottom. When I let go, it's my end result. And here are some others that I've done. You want to try to keep the hair even amount. Here are the bottoms that we're rolling in and dipping. We'll show you another video with that, and we'll cut them all even. But as I'm braiding, I don't worry about the bottoms too much. This is how Macy's hair was camouflaged for a few days, because Macy hates, like I said, to get her hair going. So I'll show you a little bit about. Here's the whole side that got done. And here's all this thick hair that Macy has. It's really hard to do. And so most of the time I just get a comb. And Macy hates her hair to be parted. And I part a line down. If your daughter is tender-headed like mine, it's best to have a spray bottle next to you with detangler. It doesn't have to be anything expensive. This is Barbie detangler. I think we got this at the dollar store. It just helps too. And you can mix stuff in it. Sometimes my older daughter, Monea, will mix like coconut oil or kidney oil, or she'll get tea tree oil, and she'll put it inside a spray bottle with a detangler and shake it up real good. She learned to do that on her own, and it ended up moisturizing her hair really good. And I just kind of make, as I'm parting, Monet, come this way so you can see the part. I try to make a straight line down. That's how I start. That's the little hairs in the way. I move them. And I kind of just get as straight as I can. Once I've done that, I take whatever scrunchie I have in her hair and I put the rest of the side back up. And then I come to the part that I've taken out. And now that I sprayed it, as you can see, it's easier to comb. I can comb right through it. And then I look at my parts, I look at how much I braided, and see I have a part going this way. I kind of follow it. As you can see. I'll make sure I follow it exactly. And once I've done that, sometimes you need more than one scrunchie because you're trying to hold up hair in more than one place. Sometimes I plait. If a scrunchie is not nearby, I'll plait this piece so that it's out the way. And what we've been using, like I said, we're going to show you the kind of hair it is. It's a Sweetie Marley hair that looks like this. And it comes and it happens to number 1 is the color, which means number 1 and 1B are normally black. And when you take it out the pack, it looks like this. And it's kind of like a piece in the middle where you could just find to split it. And you just split it, look, and it comes apart. Once it comes apart, you have 2 pieces that are totally even. One for a braid, one for a braid. Like I said, I use sulfur 8. I sulfur 8 the root. You don't want our hair to get too greasy, so I wouldn't use a lot. And if you're not a tight braider, I wouldn't grease the hair like that at all. I would grease it afterwards. And once again, you have the Marley hair split totally in half. I wrap it around her original hair. I cross Marley hair over, and then I cross again. When I cross again, I'm holding my finger to the scalp so that the hair doesn't move. And as I start to braid, I concentrate on keeping my hands in the same position so that her hair is blended all the way down. And if I have too much grease, come right down. And I keep going all the way down. Keep in the same position so that her real hair blends into the braid. Macy has a pretty good length of hair. Sometimes it takes me a while to braid it all the way down. Wait for me, baby. And then I keep going till I'm all the way out of here. If you don't like the way a braid looks, like this one's actually beautiful. And if you keep splitting exactly in half, you will get the same size braids every time because the Marley hair will be exactly in half. You will only get off if you start splitting a different way. Like I tell you, when I get to where I'm out of her hair, I take her hair and a piece of Marley hair and I flip it over so I can start to twist. And when you're twisting, it's just a flip over pretty much. Sometimes I'll do it 10 times and then I'll do it as if I'm tying a shoe, which you pull it up and tighten it. me to the root. How beautiful it is. If, for instance, okay, like I could tell you that this piece, this braid was split. Let's see, where was it? Oh. This braid was split. Not by me, my daughter actually can split better, my older daughter. And so like, when I go to, if I have a braid, say I have a braid I don't like the way it looks, I don't think it looks uniform with the rest of them, I think it looks a little different, then I'll remove it and do it over. Because like I said, I'm not a professional, so I pride myself on, but I do pride myself on wanting things to look uniform, or wanting things to look the best way that they could. And if I know the length of my daughter's hair, if you're ever cutting out a braid to make it easier for you to take out, you should know the length of your child's hair. You should not just cut. You should know where the hair would stop. And of course, I've been doing her hair so long that I know on the sides of her hair, it's always been shorter. But in the back of her hair, they've always been longer, and down here is very long. So I know how much I have, how much leeway I have, and how much I can cut. And so then if I don't like the way it looks, I'll do it again. And basically, I won't do the whole twist, but I'll show you how to cross again. Lean your hands, sweetie. I'll show you how to cross again. So here is the Molly hair split in half. Both sides are even. Here is Macy's hair, and I pull Macy's hair up, and I pull the two strands of Molly down. And as you can see, it's tight. I cross her real hair and a piece of the Molly to the right. I then cross back over, and I take my pointer finger, and I hold so that the hair is the tightest to the scalp. And then as I'm braiding, I concentrate on making sure that the Molly hair is over top of her real hair, and lean your head, sweetheart, and making sure that I'm keeping my hands straight, so that my plait looks the way I want it to. And you'll know if you're keeping your hands straight or not, because you'll be able to look down your plait and tell. You won't see her real hair sticking out. And when you look down your plait, you will see all of it is uniform. All the ridges will look the same. And that's kind of what you're going for. So, and then like I said, when I run out of hair, her real hair, I grab the Molly hair and I begin to twist it. And like I said, I'm twisting to the left. Some people twist to the right to make it stay better. I've done it both ways. It really all depends on what I'm doing. So this is how we've accomplished these braids. And when I get finished, we will have a picture showing you the end result of our whole head being done. And I hope this helps somebody learn to start to braid if they couldn't, or you just have to keep practicing. I had to practice more than once. And you don't worry about your ends too much, because when you get done with the finished work, you go back with the scissors and cut off any frayed ends or frizzy ends. And my daughter and I used to take like 6 or 7, 8, 9, 10 rollers, and we roll the hair and we dip it in. We'll show you that in a whole different video. And it comes out all curly. It looks really good, really nice. And usually if I do her hair like this, then I usually don't have to do her hair for like 3 weeks to a month. It's usually when I try to take them out. I try not to leave anything past a month. And I've washed hair like this with the braids in, and made sure I breathe scalps and keeping it all healthy, So this is CareyNMe Lifestylez. Say bye, Nathan. I hope this helped you out. See ya.
Bye.